I think other than that, I've been playing a lot of the Binding of Isaac, and
What's that?
it's a roguelite game where you are the child of a religious zealot, and like that's not even an exaggeration. It gets bad. And your mom's trying to kill you, so you go into a trap door.
Is she the religious zealot?
Yes, yes, she is. She's crazy, but you go into like a trap door hidden under your rug into your basement that's full of like horrible monsters, and like there's so much lore to it, but then also you get items like spoiled milk and they increase your health, or like a cat of 9 tails and that increases your damage, and it's just like it's the perfect balance of like, what am I looking at? And this is really fun, but it's also, again, very difficult. I like very difficult like roguelike games, and that's been frustrating.
What's the combat or the gameplay like?
It plays like Zelda, believe it or not.
Good.
Yeah, it plays
I think every roguelike should play like Zelda.
The only exception to that is Hades. Hades plays really well.
Yeah, Hades is like it's similar to Zelda.
Right.
Like it's it's isometric.
Right.
And it's action.
Right.
That's the closest. Like as long as it's close to Zelda, it's cool.
See,
I used to not really like isometric games until I played. Actually, that's not necessarily true. It was definitely the only isometric games I liked was Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I didn't care for them.
Right.
And then I played one of the first indie games I really, really got into, which is Death's Door. If you haven't played Death's Door, you would like Death's Door. It's essentially a combination of Zelda and Dark Souls in a lot of ways. But instead of bonfires, you have doors. You go and you get the door takes you back to like the hub area where you can upgrade and stuff.
Right.
And unlock other doors that take you to different parts of whatever map you're trying to go to.
Right.
And it was really fun. I enjoyed playing it a lot.
Sounds like fun.
I played it to completion. The music is amazing.
Oh, love good soundtrack.
The music's so good, and at that store. It was that, and then that partly is probably the reason I got into Hades. That and the fact that and we'll definitely touch this later at the very end. Game Pass.
Yes.
When I saw Hades, I was like, the characters look great, the character designs look great, the art is great, the music is great, but it just didn't like in terms of the gameplay didn't look like it was for me at all.
Right.
And then because it was at the Game Pass, and it was a month before Halo came out, and Halo is on Game Pass, so I was like, I'm gonna play Halo, so I might as well subscribe to Game Pass, play Hades, and then later on, play Halo.
Right.
So I played it and realized that I love it. And then I took a break from a long time after my first escape, and then I came back.
Right.
And played it a lot, and played a lot of Halo. Then I'm in that in between break phase again. Eventually, I'm gonna subscribe to Game Pass once again, play a lot more Halo, and then play a lot more Hades. That's gonna be me for the rest of my life. Is gonna be until I beat Hades.
That sounds about right. I beat Hades.
I get tired of Halos.
It's like that for me. Speaking of Game Pass, though, because I have Discord Nitro, like I had 3 free months and I used them all of Game Pass. Yeah, I keep saying.
I don't want to talk too much about Game Pass. We're going to talk about both Game Pass and PlayStation Plus later.
Gotcha.
So you save that for later.
Gotcha. There's this game that I got on Game Pass called Going Under, and it's like it's a roguelike again, but the whole like premise of it is you're a member of like a crappy startup company, and your manager, who's not your boss, he's just your manager, sends you down into a basement. Again, it's funny how that works. Sends you down into a basement to like fight other startups. It's insane. And like the whole game has like that weird corporate design art style. And like I didn't like it at first, but then it started to grow on me.
We probably talked about this before, but I don't like most games that maybe it's just Control. I just don't like. I don't like it.
I get you.
I don't really. That game is making me feel like I don't like games that take place in office spaces.
Yeah.
Because I really don't like Control. It's so boring to me. And I don't want to off top say that it's boring because it's so gray. The only splash color is red, because I could play a game that was like all black and white and the only color was red.
Like Hatred.
Like I could play a game like that. Control is just the gameplay is boring. The enemies are boring.
The story's
boring.
Yeah.
The characters are boring.
It's like
it's tainting office space games for me.
Luckily, Going Under is very colorful, which surprised me because it's a roguelike, and I'm used to roguelikes being like drab and gray, Isaac, Hades, etc.
Yeah, I said all when I played Hades, so I'm used to them being very bright colors.
Yeah, like it's like if you took Hades and cranked it up like 3 million, that's how bright and colorful it is. And like when I got into the game, I was like, this is weird. I'm not used to this whole bright color thing, but yeah, that's what I've been consuming lately.